Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book nerd. There's so many books. Hello everyone! Today's video is going to be my favorite books of 2014. Now, I am not giving you these in any particular order. All of these books have received 4 or 5 stars from me. And, you know, I just picked the ones that truly, stayed there. And for one reason or another, whether it's for pure entertainment or I felt so complete, they're my favorite books of this year. The last one is my absolute favorite, though. Other than that, the rest are in no particular order. So the first one is one I just got off the shelf that I forgot, is Cypress House by Michael Corita. It's a period paranormal mystery novel, suspenseful, all at the same time. It's not only does it have a beautiful cover, and it takes place in Florida in the 1940s, but it is about a man named Paul who, when someone's going to die, he either sees the person as a skeleton or he sees smoke come out of their eyes, and he just, you know, he's on a train, he sees stuff, he gets off the train, and this guy that was with him gets off too, a boy, he was much younger, and they get stuck in the Cypress House where a lot of things start to happen. And what I loved about this was that it was just it was a very slow book. It's not something oh my god, what's gonna happen next? It's very slow paced, and I enjoyed that though, because this is the first book I've ever been able to say I legit enjoyed that, and it wasn't this crazy fast pace I read in 2 days. It was fast, and I did read it fast, but I savored it and enjoyed it, and it stayed with me. It was just something about this book was absolutely perfection. The writing is amazing, so that's the first one. Stieg Larsson, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I read this for a Booktubeathon, and I just love this so much. I think it's awesome. Mystery novels, suspense thrillers, those are my favorites, and this definitely did not disappoint. It was just perfection. I love the characters. I love the mystery behind it, and honestly, I cannot wait to, finally dive back in when I'm ready to read a much, heavier book, because this is I read it fast, but it was very difficult to read that fast. So anyway, I truly just love this, and I can't wait to continue on. But thank you so much, Stieg Larsson. And I love the movie, but apparently they're never going to make part 2. I have next, I forgot what it was, Winter's Tale by Mark Halperin. I loved this book just because, it's written so amazingly well. It is literature in every which way, shape, or form. It is just grasping, and yes, this is a hunk of a book. It's a very long book, and it's hard to get through. It took me time. I had to read a few chapters, which was only 120 pages, and then read a book and come back to it. And I do eventually want to reread this, but honestly, I can't even tell you the description. All I'm going to tell you is, it's not there. Oh, I'm going to just read what it says in the back without giving anything away. One winter night, Peter Lake, master mechanic and second-story man, attempts to rob a fortress-like mansion on the Upper West Side. Though he thinks it is empty, the daughter of the house is home. Thus begins the affair between a middle-aged Irish burglar and Beverly Penn, a young girl dying of consumption. It is a love so powerful that Peter Lake, a simple and uneducated man, will be driven to stop time and bring back the dead. His great struggle is one of the most beautiful and extraordinary stories of American literature. It's beautiful, it's amazing, and if you like reading for reading and not for anything else, you have to like words a lot to like this book. It's true, but it's beautiful. The next one I picked up is more of a entertainment, fun read. It was fast and super enjoyable all the way through, and that was The Secret Circle in general, the first 3 books in the Secret Circle series by, I was going to say V.C. Andrews, no, Stephanie, by L.J. Smith. These were fun, they were entertaining, and I kind of got sucked into the world, and I really loved it. I loved the show. I love the books a little bit more, but they're kind of different, so you can't necessarily compare them, but it's still awesome. And what I love about L.J. Smith she always makes me feel very nostalgic, and she brings me back to those days when I first read her in high school, so love it. The next book I have is one my friend recommended for me to read, and that is Divergent by Veronica Roth. I loved the whole series as a whole, I did, but my favorite book is still Divergent. I think I like them in the order that they're published, so I like Divergent the most, and then Allegiant the least, and 4 is just awesome. It was super cool, super quick, but I really, really, really loved Divergent, and I honestly can't wait to reread it because this was such a fast read, like super fast, so enjoyable, and I see why everyone loves this so much. So Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. I read this, I was kind of in not a book slump because I wasn't in one earlier this year. It was like, I don't remember when I read this, August or September? In July, August, or September I read it. I know that's very vague and there's many days there, but it's the truth. And I really, really loved this. It's sad, it's beautiful, it's truthful, and I'm just in awe of Rainbow Rowell's writing, and she's amazing. I seriously need to read more of her books, but it was so fast, and it had me wanting more at the end of it. I was just like, why is it over? So, I only have 4 more books. The next one is, I thought I heard something. The next one is the Mortal Instruments series. I've only read the first 3 books, but I have loved those first 3 books. I actually really like the first one a little bit more. It's my favorite so far, and I just think they're amazing. They're really fun. Like, I haven't, even Divergent, like, it doesn't compare to this for me, because this is like, you get really sucked into this world because it's a world you want to get sucked into. I'm sorry, Divergent, but I don't want to be in your world. And it's just, you know, it was just so awesome. It was what I needed at the time. It's not heavy at all. Like, it's just pure entertainment and enjoyment, and it makes me feel super young again. Not that I'm old or anything, but it makes me feel like a kid. That's how, like, giddy I got from it. So I honestly can't wait to keep continuing because I loved the first 3 books, and I recommend it to anyone who hasn't read it. And I know a lot of people say the first one is their least favorite, but quite frankly, I just, it was so good. Okay, guys, I'm down to the last 3. The next one I'm going to show you is Revolver by Marcus Sedgwick. I had to include this book. I read this in no time at all. It was so fast, and yet in the 201 pages that it is so, like, intense. I felt it was intense. I felt the emotions with Sig, is his name? Yeah, Sig, and I just, like, felt the sadness and the horror and, like, the fear that he felt, and I just, like, I loved it. This has just so many things about it that are absolute perfection, and I need to read more Marcus Sedgwick because his writing is amazing, and actually, I really loved, I really love a quote that's in here, and I'm going to say it now because I feel like it. Love, sing, cry, and fight, but all the time seek to know everything you can about the earth upon which you stand, till your time is done. It's just beautiful. Like, there's nothing else I can say. It's just beautiful. Now, the last 2... The first one I'm going to show you is my literally second to last favorite, and this book is beautiful. Everyone should know this book, and if you don't, at least I wasn't the only one living under a rock. The same friend, Maribel, my friend Maribel, she's the one that suggested Divergent, and she was the one that suggested The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Even though I'm not a big fan of his other books at the moment, I still haven't read Paper Towns. This book was just so beautiful. It is a roller coaster of emotions. And even though it makes you feel horrible at the end because you're just like, but what happens? It's okay. Okay? And I'm actually rereading it right now because, I'm rereading this in conjunction with reading other books at the same time because I read this in like 6-7 hours, like literally one sitting. I was just like bathroom breaks all. That was it. Maybe a couple times to like eat something, whatever. But I literally read this as I just could not put it down. And I'm rereading it and I'm enjoying it. And I'm just so happy that she let me borrow hers. This is my own. But I love it. Now, you guys have already heard me talk about my absolute favorite book about 1,000,000 times. So I'm sorry if I am annoying you. And if you're still with me, awesome. My absolute favorite book of 2014 is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Now, I've talked about this book a lot, and I find that it's very hard to summarize, so I'm not even going to attempt to. All I'm going to say is that this book made me feel, it made me want to fight and, like, just be brave, and it made me appreciate stories all over again. Because as much as I've enjoyed a lot of the books I've read this year, there are just some things that I could never get past in those books. Even with The Mortal Instruments and Divergent and Afterworlds and all these other books that I've read, there's just something missing in some of them. At least for me there is. And with this book, I was just captivated and I was just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And it was literally me in a book. There was the mystery in the beginning of what's going on, how did I get here, what do you mean this is going to happen to me, and then there's the loss and the finding yourself and believing in yourself and doing right for your people, but not doing stupid decisions. And even if he made a stupid decision, Darrow, he knew he made that mistake and he knew he had to think about it. It was part of him, and I loved how strong Darrow was, and I loved the world. It's awesomely messed up, and I think it's so intriguing, and there's blood, and there's probably some guts and carcasses, you know, and Crazy Wolf Boy, but it's okay. This book was just so amazing. I cannot wait to reread it. I am definitely going to reread it because The Golden Sun comes out January 6th. And I just love this so much. Like, oh, this book was just so good. I think it's just, you know, that there was a solid plot. There was no doubt of what was going on. It had direction and it stayed there. And it just kept going. And it didn't deviate from the plan. And I'm just like, yes, give me more. So I really can't wait till January 6th. But those are my favorite books of 2014. And I cannot wait to just continue reading. So I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.